Hello, everybody that is popping on in. Appreciate you guys coming by. I am trying to figure out how to look at both comments on Facebook and YouTube at the same time. I hope the Restream chat is handling that okay. So, what is going on, Jesus Salcedo? ¿Cómo estás? Do your friends call you Chewy? That would probably be my first question. Hope you're doing well. And hello, Kala Holt. I hope I pronounced that correctly. If not, let me know. I am going to be working on sketching out this cover. This is the rough layout that was going to go until final. I don't know if you guys can see this. That's what the other part I'm trying to figure out is because I work very lightly. Also, we get it to focus. Boom. There's the focus. And then slowly bring it up. I'm also trying to work on my setup. I'm using Joy-Cam right now. There, it's focused again. Looks like it can't focus that well on paper, but it can focus on hands. So maybe that's the trick. Just to show you guys, kinda. So you can see how light I work. Just for comparison's sake, show you some of the details here. But anyways, the layout is done this way for the cover. I'm not happy necessarily with. I like how it looks, but I think it can be tighter and composed a little bit better. So I'm actually going to switch this up. And I'm going to go from a 9x12 sheet to a standard tabloid sheet. People are asking why would I go 9x12 first instead of just going to the full tabloid. And that, my friends, the answer is super easy. If you've ever been a broke artist, it is about conserving your materials, right? So, at least for me, I always think about how much ink, how much pigment, how much, in terms of my tools I'm going to be using. And so, just to be efficient, we want to keep costs down. So I don't necessarily always go to a larger size if I can use a smaller size. But for this, I think it'll just work better. It'll be a little bit easier. And then working on a smaller size is it's a little, I guess, a little more fun to get things done in a smaller size. If you don't know who I am, I'm a comic book artist. I do variant covers. I also do sketch cards for the major companies such as Upper Deck and Topps. So that means I work on Marvel, DC Comics, Star Wars, and most recently, probably many of you guys are collecting SpongeBob cards. I did sketch cards for that as well. And I was just looking at a comment here on YouTube that somebody said helps as they pulled the blushing SpongeBob sketch card. That's awesome. Congratulations on that. I know somebody's trying to flip the Donut Bob I did on everybody's favorite auction platform right now. So good luck to the seller and to anybody that is buying or bidding on that card. I know the last big sale for any of my SpongeBob sketch cards was $2,000 for one of them, and they seem to be averaging about $800 to like $1,200 for the most part. I know I recently had a new Star Wars record, which was over $600 on a card. So congratulations to all you out there making a bag on sketch card flipping. I wish you the very best. Deadpool is coming out. The pre-sale just went up 2 days ago. I don't know if the blaster boxes are still available. I know Topps had the blaster boxes after the hobby boxes and the cases were sold out, so you could probably still get the blaster boxes. I picked up a few, so hopefully I'll have them at shows. I won't have them at WonderCon. If you're in the California area, I will be at WonderCon March 27th through 29th, but hopefully I'll have them in hand. For anybody who is in the Colorado area, I will be a guest at Fan Expo Denver, and hopefully I'll have Deadpool in hand. Apparently, or supposedly, it physically drops on April Fool's Day, so April the 1st, and Fan Expo Denver is happening May the 28th through the 31st, if I'm not mistaken. So I'll be a guest of that show. I should have that in hand. I will have some blaster boxes of SpongeBob. As you know, these are going for about $150 right now. So I'll show you SpongeBob. I'll have a hobby box, but I'm just going to show you the blaster box of Batman Metal Universe. These are doing pretty well. A lot of people don't even know that DC is back in the trading card game. And I had the honor, this is my very first license to work under the DC Comics license. So I'm super proud and honored to have been a part of Batman Metal Universe. And just so you know, I'm also going to be in DC Annual 2425, which is on pre-order right now. That looks like a value set, so the hobby boxes are actually pretty cheap. I think they might still be available for under 90 bucks. So I should have, when that drops, I think it's going to be dropping in April as well. Hopefully I'll have those for shows. But if you're out there and you'd like to find me at a show, I'm going to post my convention schedule up soon. I'm still trying to get some stuff finalized, but I will be, again, in the California area. I will be at WonderCon happening March 28th through the 31st. I'm going to be a guest at Fan Expo Denver, May 28th through the 31st. I'm sorry, WonderCon is the 27th, March 27th through the 29th. Fan Expo Denver is May 28th through the 31st. Fan Expo Boston, I'm going to be guest at, I believe that is August 7th through the 9th. And Fan Expo San Francisco will be November 27th through the 29th. And then waiting to finalize Dragon Con. So if you're out there in Georgia, Atlanta, Georgia, shout out. Last year I went. It was an amazing show. And that, I believe, is September 3rd through the 7th. And then if you guys are watching right now, what I'm showing, hi Sonic Speed, is the cover that I'm going to be working on. This is for my friend Ernie Altbacher and Josh White, his artist. They're doing a really fantastic comic called Area 51. It is a humor comic, so if you guys are into super funny stuff, it kind of reminds me of like an Independence Day meets like a Seth MacFarlane kind of sense of humor, sensibility. And just so you know, Ernie Altbacher is an amazing writer. He worked on a bunch of the DC animation projects. So his last thing that dropped was the Aztec Batman, but he also did like the Green Lantern series. He's done like a bunch of Batman stuff, Justice League stuff. So if you get a chance, do check out the book. I believe I put it up. Hopefully you guys all see that in the description that is being pushed out of what we're doing here. So you can find it at area51comic.com /KS, short for Kickstarter. And what this is if you guys can see it, I know I work really light. This is going to be an homage cover, but the homage is not to another comic. The homage will actually be to Star Trek. So if you guys out there are Star Trek fans, Trekkies, Trekkers, whatever they're called now, we used to call them Trekkies back in the 90s through 2000s, and then I just recently found out a few years ago that fans prefer to be called Trekkers now. But this is an homage to the old school series, specifically the episode Time Amok, where Spock's hormones kind of get the better of him, and he is just in the thralls, and he is put to the test against his friend Captain Kirk. So if you haven't seen that episode, I believe you can actually find it through Paramount Plus or maybe online. So go check that out. It's a fantastic episode, and we are doing a take on that with the characters from the Area 51 comic. So the composition will incorporate the background from the Star Trek episode, as well as the central cast of characters from the comic itself. So that's what we're going to be working on. I originally started this on a 9x12, thinking that I would conserve artist materials, aka colored pencil, marker that I'm going to be working on. But it seems really tight, and the composition isn't coming out how I'd like. And Ernie had notes, so I'm going to address the notes, and I'm actually going to blow this up a little bit to make my life easier in terms of the rendering. We're going to go to the full tabloid size, which might be hard for you guys to see, but we'll do our best here. So you can see how the tabloid size doesn't even completely fit under the camera setting. we'll do our best. And then if you guys have any questions, just drop them in, and I'll try to answer them as best as I can. If you're looking to break into the comic book field, I highly recommend against it, but I also highly encourage you to pursue it. The medium is something that you really love and you're passionate about. And last night when I was streaming, just to test out the equipment and the setup that I have going on right now, I did mention that if you guys ever need a template, I do have a basic template set up for a comic book standard template that will show you guys where the trim and the bleed is. And usually this page is where this is a sheet of blue line art. This is pretty common brand that you can find at a lot of art shops. Even comic book shops will carry this paper, and it's already ruled out for you, but generally this one is not completely ruled out because I believe this is just to trim. But when you see a standard layout, usually there's an interior rectangle, and that will mark where your title safe or your text safe space will be, which is where all of your word balloons and any titles and stuff would go, to avoid being cut off. And then once you get into the second rectangle, that's the bleed. So when you expand there, and then the little space in between the bleed and this very last box here would be the trim. So anything essentially in the little gap could be cut off. So you don't, if you're going to extend your art, extend it all the way, but make sure that there's no text in that gap, as it may be completely cut off by the printer. So hopefully that's a quick explanation that'll help you guys out there. But like I said, I have a template. It's saved in Photoshop format. I can always flatten it and send you a TIFF as well. If you need that to get started, just hit me up, let me know. I'd be more than happy to help you out with that. Because I believe comic books is really a community project. Doing comics is a community really in itself, especially if you're an indie guy and you get to work essentially hands-on with your writer, your colorist, your letterer, your inker. You get to know all those fantastic people that are part of your team. And let's see. Nobody's commented on Facebook, so that's a good sign. I don't know that Facebook is necessarily feeding stuff, but and for this, I do have references, so I will be pulling that up. So just to show you guys what the scene looks like. Real quick, this I believe is a sideshow sculpture of the scene that we're kind of going to be replicating a little bit. And then these are some screenshots from the episode. So these are the references that I'll be using. And then this is, you guys see the characters from the comic themselves. There's Spock. Here is a preview page from the comic. And then I just downloaded some reference shots of the Star Trek outfit so that I'd have them to work with. And because we're in a modern age where, our cell phones can do so much, I actually start all the artwork off on my phone. But we're essentially replicating this whole gong setup here. I'm not gonna replicate it exactly one to one, obviously for copyright purposes. So we're just gonna do it as an homage. But I want to show you guys how I start all the artwork off. Whether it's doing covers, comic book page interior work, or sketch cards, I usually just start stuff off on my phone. So again, if you need a template, I have a template set up for phone as well, and I use that to do all my stuff. And just to show you what this looks like. So that's what we're aiming to do here. You can see that. And for anybody who's dropped by, appreciate you guys coming through to watch or to hang out. Let me know if you have any questions. If there's anything specific that you'd like to know about while I look up more reference photos. Hey, what's going on, Jordan? How you been, man? Hey, you're coming in from Facebook. All right, so I got Facebook and YouTube going on at the same time, so it's nice to know that I can see the chat from both. I hope you've been well too, dude. I've been doing all right. I don't know if you saw, but Deadpool is going to be dropping soon, so look out for Deadpool Chrome coming from Tops. DC Annual 2024-25 is going to be dropping soon as well, so those will be coming out. And then I have another Marvel and Star Wars set to be announced right now. I'm actually just getting some reference photos for this variant cover that I'm doing. That is going to be a Star Trek homage to the Time of Muck episode, where Captain Kirk and Spock duke it out. And then also just trying to figure out this whole setup with Droid Cam and OBS Restream. So those three things together. Hopefully everything is looking good on my end. Let me know if you can see things okay, man. I work really light anyways, so this is going to be super light. So you can see like from here how light the pencils are. I started 9 by 12, but wasn't liking the composition, how it turned out. And then you can see the original composition rough here. So this is the rough layout that I did. And then I'm just looking up some reference photos for the background here of the battle arena that Spock and Kirk are a part of. And this cover is being done for Area 51 by Ernie Altbacher and Josh White. So if you get a chance, dude, go check out their Kickstarter page. You can find it. I think it should be listed on the Facebook description of this live. But if not, it's area the number 51 comic. So area51comic.com/KS, short for Kickstarter, and it'll take you to the pre-launch page. And I think they're going to be launching soon, maybe around the time of WonderCon, which is happening at the end of the month. I don't know if you guys are you coming down for that at all? Let me know. But if not, I'll most likely will see you at the end of the year, as I will be returning as a guest to Fan Expo San Francisco, and that's November the 27th through the 29th. So come and join us. I'm sure Mog and Mel will be there too. Shout out to Mog Park. If you guys in the chat don't know who Mog Park is, she was one of the artists on the original run of Game of Thrones. I forgot what seasons. I want to say she was seasons like 5 through 8 or 3 through 8 or something like that. But she did a bunch of concept design work, character work, like accessories, details, all that sort of stuff. She's really good at that. So if you get a chance, look up Mog Park. And it's funny because the kids nowadays are using Mog as a term to mean attractive. So like mogging is a thing. But Mel told me not to tell her that, so I guess we're gonna keep that between us for right now until I see her again. But if you guys get a chance, do go check out Mog Park's artwork. She does some incredibly detailed. She's been doing like Japanese samurai kind of takes on different characters, and it's really fun to see. And then she does this crazy background artwork for her pieces that is wild, which makes sense because she was on Game of Thrones. My computer is so slow. Hopefully that's not affecting the feed at all. Appreciate you guys dropping in and commenting. Crazy thing about all these pictures from the original Star Trek series, the show is so old, it's all like standard def, super low resolution. I have to jump into Paramount Plus to see if I can pull up more background images. And we're gonna probably have to use a lot of the sculpture stuff for reference too, so most likely we'll be doing that. But something making the tip of my nose super itchy. a wolf flower. What else is going to go? On the top of the structures here. It's almost like parentheses shape and a ball kind of looking thing. Top. Again, it's a little shaped like a coffin. If any of you guys are in the Washington area, I'm originally from Seattle, and I want to give a shout out to Emerald City Comic Con. If you're headed there, please go check out. I have a bunch of friends that are out there currently, so I hope you get a chance to go support them if you are at Emerald City Comic Con. So shout out to Dustin Wynn, who did the very cover to my comic book. And many people know him from doing Descender and Ascender with Jeff Lemire. But he did the variant cover to Pablo the Gorilla. Also go check out David Mack, who is up there. I think his table number is G21, I want to say. He says he's at an NCAP, so please go say hi to David. Just one of the nicest dude. Two of the nicest people in comics actually are Dustin and David. And then Michael Kingston is there with Headlock Comics, so please go say hi to him and check out his books. He has a book with a variant cover with Darren Warren Johnson on it, who's obviously huge right now with all the stuff that he's doing. The man puts out some fantastic artwork, some great books, so kudos to him. Don't know him, haven't met him yet, but I've heard great things. Heard he's really cool dude. So yeah, go say hi to Michael with Headlock Comics and Hyde Hermit Studios. Shout out to them as well. So yeah, if you're at Emerald City, please go visit those. And I have a ton of other people I know up there, but those are just the ones that come to mind really quickly. And then if you don't follow me on social media already, I'm at Winning It. It's the most common Vietnamese last name. It's my last name, Nguyen. Add an INGIT to that, Winning It, on those social media platforms. And I believe this channel, if you're watching it through YouTube, is named that as well. And you can find me on IG, TikTok, most major social media platforms as that. And for WonderCon, I have a friends list posted up, just so you know. Please go visit those amazing creators. And yeah, David Mack will also be at WonderCon. So he is on that list. I don't think Dustin is there this year. Dustin has joined up with Fletcher, who's been managing, I think, his show appearances. And I don't think WonderCon is on Fletcher's list. So shout out to Fletcher as well, and the group of creators that he represents. I got a chance to meet him at Comic Pro last year, I believe, and he was a real cool dude. And anybody who works with Dustin is cool in my book. So try to support good people in comics. You know? Pool behind this obelisk looking thing. And this thing is basically the first image of the carving. Just rough out the perspective of that. Eyeball quickly. Looks pretty good. Up a little bit. Just trying to roughly figure out approximately where things will go. And it works so lightly so I can go back and erase if needed. Alright, this is fine. More comfortable in terms of space management for the characters. It's like a upside down tiger paw or something. Dog paw. Focusing on this camera. Let there be light. Alright. a little more. Oh, I guess you missed it. Working on a variant cover for Area 51 Comics. Um, it is a comic done by Ernie Altbacker, who is a fantastic writer, and he is known for doing a lot of the DC animated stuff. He worked on the Green Lantern animated series, and then just recently it was Aztec Batman, so he was a writer on that. And then he puts out this comic called Area 51. I believe it's going to be their third issue, I want to say. And if you're a fan of properties like Star Trek, like Seth MacFarlane kind of humor, I think you're going to love this book, dude. So check it out, area51comic.com. So that's area, the number 51, comic.com /50 or /KS. So if you're on Facebook, you're commenting. I think it's in the streaming description, so you can just click on that and go to their sign up page and give them a follow, and I'm sure they'd appreciate it. But it is a hilarious book. If you haven't had a chance to read it, it's really funny. So what we're doing is a Star Trek homage cover, and so it's going to be an homage to the Time Amok episode, which is again where Spock is completely taken over by his desire to procreate, get married, and then he ends up in a battle to the death with Kirk, who he chose as like the friend to represent him. It's a pretty crazy episode considering it was the 70s. So if you get a chance to look it up, it's called Time Amok, AMOK. And I remember watching it as a kid, when Ernie described the episode to me. I was like, oh, I know exactly what that episode is. Just because I remember how crazy Spock was. I used to watch Star Trek as a kid because it would show it on, I think it was the afternoons and reruns. So I think it was like, I want to say it was after school that I would watch it. But yeah, it's just a rough out where everything's going to go. Because we essentially sort of just upsize this 9x12 image. And then I'm just working light so I don't have to erase that much, and it'll be easier to blend as I go in with marker. Yeah, I figured I would just do this for a little bit before I go grab some food. But hey, dude, thank you very much for dropping in and for commenting. I appreciate you being here. And I don't know if you heard, I don't know if you're coming down to WonderCon at the end of the month, but if I don't catch you at WonderCon, hopefully I'll see you up at Fan Expo San Francisco this year. And Mel and Mog, I believe, are going to be at that show as well. So hope to catch you out there, dude. Hopefully you can you get a chance to come hang with us, grab some dinner. But if anybody's coming down to WonderCon, just so you guys know, WonderCon is happening at the end of this month. It's going to be March 27th through the 29th. I'm going to have a panel. They unfortunately put the panel, which is funny because my panel is cosplayers are going to come out, and we're going to do life drawing with cosplayers. But for whatever reason, they decided to put our panel up against the Masquerade, where a lot of cosplayers are going to be at. So It says you've been swamped with Academy Life. Academy Life? What academy are you training for? The police academy? What's going on there? You finish in July? All right. I wish you the very best. Um, I hope the training's been going well for whatever the academy is. Is it the police academy? Um, but yeah, if you're headed to WonderCon, we're going to be doing life drawing on the go, which we've had at Fan Expo, Denver. We've had it at Rose City Comic Con, San Diego Comic Con. Um, so we're going to be doing it at WonderCon Saturday. It's going to be in room 210 from 8:30 to 9:30. So if you want to just come chill and draw, we'll have some artists on the panel, and we're just going to be switching it up, hanging out, drawing, and we'll have some cosplayers there. Hopefully, I got to get everybody arranged, and we'll start pumping out information on that panel. And then we're also bringing back the Indie Floor Tour to WonderCon. If you have attended a show that I've been at here on the West Coast, such as San Diego, LA, or WonderCon, last year I took time off of some shows, but that is coming back. So we're going to do it again. We have 23 vendors currently. We may have 24, but we will have freebies for everybody attending. What you do is you just come by, you pick up a form. You're going to see the form. I'm going to send it out to San Diego Comic Con unofficial blog. So shout out to the SDCC unofficial blog group. Oh, there you go. Yep. Finish in July for the Police Academy. Dude, I wish you the very best, man. Since I know you're going to do a good job to protect and serve the community, so I wish you the very best with that, dude. But yeah, we're going to bring the Indie Floor Tour back, so come pick up some swag. We'll have the forum. You can go from creator to collect swag and checklist. We'll have some fun stuff as prizes, and we're going to do the prize drawing every day. You only have to enter in once, so if you're there for the entire weekend and you happen to finish collecting all the check marks, and you put an entry in on Friday, you still will be entered to win the prize on Saturday and on Sunday. I'm going to try to have some cool stuff, and I've been running this. I don't know much about these because I don't collect Warhammer, but the question is, would you like to see, and I have two of these. I have a red one and this red one and a blue one. I think these are supposed to be pretty popular. These are the Joy Toy Warhammer 40k, I think they're model kits or action figures. They look really cool. So the question is, would you like to see this at San Diego Comic Con or at WonderCon? Find a tweet, dude. Let me know, or just tweet out or Facebook comment and let me know. And I'm not guaranteed to be at San Diego Comic Con this year. Unfortunately, they waitlisted me again this year. They waitlisted me last year, and they on preview night called up and were like, "Can you come?" And I was like, "No, dude. I'm doing stuff for Star Wars. I'm not coming. Star Wars and Marvel for tops." So that was no. And we were just going through a lot last year, but this year hopefully we're bouncing back and doing some great things. Like I said, Deadpool is dropping soon. DC Annual is dropping soon for Upper Deck and for Tops. And then just a preview. Reach back here, pull up some of the product that I will have at WonderCon, and hopefully for the rest of the shows, we'll see how long these last for. But this is Batman Metal Universe. So I have these in hand. These are blaster boxes, and this is blaster box of SpongeBob. And these blaster boxes have been insane. So these are now worth $150 each is their going rate. These are still affordable. I think these are about 30, 35, maybe $40. But you can find some amazing things. I sold some of these at the end of the year last year up in San Francisco, and this guy who bought one of these Batman, so he's guaranteed 2 Aqua parallels out of this box. He's Harley Quinn there, and that's an Aqua card. And Homeboy opened this box. We did a live feed of this, and he pulled almost like every kind. He pulled a purple. He pulled aquas. Like every pack had hits. He had one of these cards, I believe. yeah, it was pretty wild to see all these cards come out of Blaster. I think he also got one of these Arkham Acetate cards and a Joker card. So he was like pulled some rares. So these Blaster boxes have actually been some amazing values, and I guess people have been pulling some crazy one-on-ones out of these, especially out of the SpongeBob. So people have found my sketch cards out of these boxes, which is wild. Because normally they're just like value boxes, and they'll put like the specific kind of parallel in them. But the fact that people are pulling cast autos out of these boxes has been insane, and sketch cards. Yeah, absolutely wild. Anyways, I'm gonna go eat now. I appreciate you guys dropping in. Jordan, dude, good luck to you. I'm wishing you the very best. I believe in you, man. I think you're gonna do great. I don't know. I imagine they do an exam at the very end for you, so I hope you pass with flying colors. And I'm gonna come back later and work more on this. But here, let me just put the first one here. But yeah, I work really light. Even the sketch card stuff is like this. Hopefully, I'll get a chance to work on some regular personal sketch cards, some PSCs. I unfortunately can never show you the work that I do for the major companies because that's essentially like an NDA. We're embargoed from sharing that until all the cards are approved, and then the social media embargo is lifted. But I will be doing art draws for DC Annual, and you guys need to see the artwork for that. It's going to be so crazy. It's some of my best work, as well as for Deadpool coming up. And then I'm on a Marvel set that's to be announced, and another Star Wars set that's to be announced. And then I just received a new Star Wars set from Topps today. So it's going to be a busy year for trading cards. It's going to be a busy year for comics. I know everybody's been asking me about Pablo Grill. I'm getting to it. It's penciled. I just need to refine the pencils and ink it. But I want to show you some of the stuff that I'm working on right now. So we'll give you a quick preview. I've already previewed this on my page. If you don't know, I do a book with Michael Tanner, who did Junior Braids of the Apocalypse for Oni Press, and he is an amazing writer. Love Michael, as well as Greg Smith. Shout out to those two dudes. But we do a book called Battle Grapple Rebel for Overcast Comics, so shout out Travis Webb as well. Oh, nope, that's the first issue. I want to show you guys that. First issue's already out. But just to show you, this is going to be the first splash page that I'm working on. And those are the inks. So, you guys out there, check this book out. We're really proud of this book. I'm happy to work on it. It's such great storytelling on Michael's part. It's a real hero's journey. If you're a fan of wrestling, the concept is what if pro wrestling was the preeminent form of entertainment in a universe like Star Wars. And dude, he's such a great writer. Really underrated, I feel like. So if you get a chance, come by, find me. I had the first issue. We're going to try to get the second issue done and out for you guys. And then hopefully the third issue is coming down the pipeline as I work on Pablo and all these other trading card projects. Thank you so much for coming in now.